fewer cars were on the roadways last year, so accidents were down, but those accidents were actually more serious and more people died in those crashes in 2020 than in previous years. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Mike Savino is live from the mobile newsroom with more. And Mike, why do officials say that happened?
Well, Caitlin, they say that drivers were actually taking more reckless actions because there were fewer people on the road. And as you mentioned, traffic is picking up this year, and they're worried about what might happen if some of those drivers continue to be unsafe.
It would certainly seem that the open roads were just too tempting for drivers who would otherwise engage in risky behaviors.
Fewer people were on the roadways last year, with much of the economy shut down amid the coronavirus pandemic. So you'd think that the roadways would be safer.
There were fewer crashes overall, but those crashes were more serious and often fatal.
Roadway fatalities actually went up both locally and across the country. In Connecticut, 308 people died in crashes last year, more than any of the previous 3 years. A report last month from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, found that traffic-related fatalities were up 7% across the country in 2020.
Even though there were fewer drivers on the road, there was an increase in drivers who engaged in risky behaviors.
Speed was often behind the wrecks, but the NHTSA report listed several other reasons, including a 20% jump in occupants thrown from their vehicles. There was a 15% spike in people not wearing seatbelts and a 9% bump in crashes where alcohol was a factor.
I think encouraging people to make smart choices behind the wheel because it promotes their safety as well as the safety of their neighbors.
Police departments are upping their enforcement as well as public education. So far, fatalities are on the same pace as they were last year at this point. Those numbers don't include 3 fatalities reported by state police over the weekend.
If you look at the headlines, even in the last couple days, it's pretty obvious that there are still folks engaging in risky behaviors.
Now, while we're on the same pace, AAA says that it's hard to make year-to-year comparisons at this point. For one thing, fatal accident reports can take time. So it's hard to figure out why these accidents are happening. It could simply be that there's now more traffic on the roadways again. Live from the mobile newsroom, Mike Savino, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.